Welcome to Executive Points of View. I'm Grant Shee, along with my co-creator and friend, Joe Marroquin. We're here today to talk about a very big topic in artificial intelligence. Now, you've been accustomed to our format within an 8-minute video. It's kind of hard to delve into all the facets of AI.
It's a big topic.
It is a very big topic. But one of the things that I think we should take a little bit of a look in is how AI is impacting the evolution of threat detection in cybersecurity. So I know that's a very important topic to you, Joe. Why don't you kick us off with some of your general thoughts around that?
I mean, certainly that's a small sliver of AI. We could probably spend multiple episodes talking about it. But when it comes to endpoint protection, when it comes to the threats that we are seeing, one of the things I like to say is that we live in an exponential world where there are 7.5 billion of us. Most of us tend to look at it from the positives that the exponential world brings us. We can solve almost all kinds of problems out there on medicine, biology, space exploration, all kinds of things like that. But along with that, we almost never talk about the exponential threats that manifest out of the exponential world. And we are seeing a multiplication of threats within the cyber domain or cyber realm for us. And it's difficult to stay on top and catalog all of the threats that are emerging. And that's where I think that AI can help us defeat some of these before they become known threats.
Well, I think that's a good point. We're always looking at things, like you said, in the positive format. What are the good use cases? What are the good corporate applications of AI? We have to remember that with 7.5 billion people, there's also people leveraging this technology to harm us and to be more efficient bad threat actors. In many ways, I think what we're talking about here is similar to finance and accounting, where in the old world, we would account for things, right? We would use signature-based...
That's traditional endpoint.
Yeah, signature-based virus definitions to say, this happened, what can we do to protect against it again? And now we're shifting to a world where we're saying, what will happen?
What will happen?
But
based
again,
on these,
both sides have the same tools.
Right? Yes. Yeah. And that's where I think, from an AI standpoint, just applying artificial intelligence technologies into this field, and there are several companies out there that are starting to do that, really gives us an opportunity to get ahead of the game and be able to defeat some of these threats based on their behavior. What kind of ports are they opening? Where are they communicating to? How are they interacting with? How are devices trying to interact within the enterprise that normally would not? So picking up on those patterns, I think, is key to the future of cybersecurity.
Yeah, great points. So for our executive audiences, Joe, what do you think all this means in terms of what should corporations and executive teams be looking to do with this artificial intelligence view of threat detection?
I think I like to use the word or the phrase that we should not become enamored with certain technologies that are not quite ready for prime time, if you will, as they used to say in media broadcast industry. We have these technologies that are emerging, and we have a traditional set of technologies out there that work very well. And there's quite a bit of effort being poured into those technologies as well. They are proven, they are robust, they work. At the same time, I think it would be remiss of us if we did not really look at some of these emerging technologies around AI, because it's not going to be long, to your point, of where we have either state actors or organized cyber syndicates or cybercrime syndicates coming after us using their own AI tools. And then it's going to be a question of, is my AI tool smarter than your AI tool? And the whole cyber warfare will be conducted on a whole different plane.
Yeah, I can share that with my organization. We are starting to migrate away from traditional signature and virus-based definitions and looking more into predictive artificial intelligence to combat that threat.
So, and I think as we delve into that realm, I think we have to be careful, because there are still some very good products out there that are very robust from an endpoint protection that use traditional technologies. The new behavioral or AI based is catching up, but we have to make sure that we don't lose coverage of saying, I went too fast with the AI side and I discounted my traditional tool set and I have a gap. Yeah. So I think that's an important.
I think what you're saying is that the threats are additive. Right. That the traditional threats are not going away. People are still going to look for phishing attempts. They're still going to look to insert SQL code in places where they're not authorized to do so, in addition to new threats that these newer technologies need to combat. But we shouldn't be too quick to assume that the old threats have gone away.
I think there will be an overlay of these technologies. So you have traditional ways of defeating these types of attacks, and then you're going to overlay these additional AI tool sets. At some point, probably it'll only be the AI tool sets. If we fast forward, 64 months into the future, it could potentially, or the old tool sets will just subsume and adopt all of the AI behavioral features too.
Very good. Well, thank you all for tuning into this episode of Executive Points of View. We hope you've enjoyed it.
Thanks, everyone.